Now when it comes to Amazon's Alexa-enabled smart speaker lineup, the Echo Studio is undoubtedly the big daddy. And we've got a new version for 2022 boasting enhanced width, clarity and presence according to Amazon. Although the Echo Studio 2022 also costs a tenner more than the previous model. So let's whip it out the box, get it all set up and take you on a full tour of all of the various features to see if it's worth that cash. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, if you're interested in the box, that's what it looks like. I'm more interested in what's actually in the box. And what you get is, unsurprisingly, an Amazon Echo Studio. You've got a lovely little quick start guide. And you've got yourself a power cable as well. And that's your lot. And to be fair, that should be all you need. Right, so let's get this thing set up. Now, the fresh new 2022 model of the Echo Studio looks distinctly similar to the original version. But you do now have the option of this gorgeous glacier white model, which is great news if you have gone for a lighter colour scheme in the old homestead. The actual materials haven't changed up at all. You've once again got a faux fabric exterior, which looks pretty smart. You do have this one slightly ugly seam running down one side, however, so you'll probably want to turn the Echo Studio around and sort of keep that bit concealed. And then running around the top of the Echo Studio 2022 is the same plastic ring as before. And around this ring you'll find the far-field mics, which pick up your voice commands, and also 4 physical buttons. You've got volume up and volume down controls. You've also got an action button which can be used to call up the Alexa voice assistant if you don't want to say Alexa. Oh and yeah, I'll try and remember to censor every time I say the word Alexa as well, so I'm not driving everyone's smart home kit absolutely bonkers. And if you want a bit of privacy, you do have a mic mute button here on the Echo Studio as well, so Alexa can listen into all of your conversations. And then same as the previous model of Echo Studio, you've got this skinny wee orifice down here near the bottom. That's actually a bass aperture to make the bass sound beefy as fuck. As before, you've got a rubbery bottom as well, which just adds a nice bit of grip when the Echo Studio is sat on a surface. Won't go flying off a desk if you knock it by accident, although to be fair, it's 3.5 kilos, so you'd have to knock it pretty ruddy hard to send it flying. And as for ports, it's pretty simple stuff. You've got your power socket, you've got your aux optical in, and a micro USB port to connect devices as well. I've got to give a quick shout out as well to the adorable light ring that runs the circumference of the top end of the Echo Studio, which is great when you're using the Echo speaker in the evenings. Adds a good bit of atmosphere to your kitchen counter or whatever. And it is actually functional because it only lights up when Alexa is listening in. And I particularly enjoy the sultry red hue when you've got the microphones muted. So that's the design. Now let's do the setup. And frankly, this is so easy that even a Geordie could do it. Step 1, plug the bugger in. You'll know when you've done this right because the Echo Studio will surprise you with a shockingly loud blast of music. And then demand in various languages that you download the Alexa app.
Hallo, laden Sie die Alexa-App herunter, fortzufahren.
You'll find the Alexa app on the Apple App Store for iPhones and also on the Google Play Store for Android devices. Just accept all the usual permissions, then sign in with your Amazon account. And pretty much as soon as you do, you should get a notification popping up on screen saying that you've got an Echo Studio ready for setup. It's just determined that that is ready and waiting via Bluetooth. Do not stress if that doesn't pop up though. All you need to do is head to devices here at the bottom of the Alexa app. Then just tap this little plus sign up at the very top and then go to add device. In the next menu that pops up, choose Amazon Echo, and then the one you want is Echo, Echo Dot, Echo Plus, and more. And then my spangly new Echo Studio has popped up in this little menu right there. And if it gives you any jip whatsoever, just use the old tried and trusted method of switching it off, switching it back on again, and then hopefully next time it'll actually work. Once the setup is complete, your Echo Studio will then play a nice little bit of music to try and work out what the acoustics are like in the room it is sat in. It can then automatically adjust the audio output to suit those acoustics, and every time you move the Echo Studio, it will perform that test again to change the audio output. And that's a feature you'll typically find in more premium speakers from the likes of Sonos, so it's great to see Amazon chucking it in a speaker that costs under 200 quid. And with that done, your Echo Studio should be all connected to your network via the dual band Wi-Fi support and ready to rock. So you can now say, Alexa, who will Sunderland Football Club playing this weekend?
Sunderland and Cardiff City will face off tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. in England Championship.
Well, here's hoping we don't completely muff that one up. Now when it comes to your audio, the Echo Studio 2022 actually has the same 5 speaker setup as the previous version. For any audio bods out there, the arrangement is a 2-inch upward firing, 2-inch left firing and 2-inch right firing speaker, as well as a 1-inch front firing tweeter and a 5¼ inch downward firing woofer for all of those lovely lows. You got full support here for Dolby Atmos output, great news if you want to hook it up to a TV, enjoy that cinematic style experience. You've also got support for Sony 360 audio as well, if you want to enjoy a proper 3D soundscape. And while the improved audio output on this 2022 model is subtle to say the least, the Echo Studio is certainly powerful enough to use as part of a cinematic hi-fi style setup, and it makes every genre of music that I tested sound absolutely brilliant. Bass lovers in particular will get a massive kick out of the Echo Studio 2022 because those lows are beefier than a beef pie covered in beef dripping with extra beef on top. And yeah, those lows can certainly overpower the other elements of a track on particularly bass heavy songs, but certainly for hip hop, for dance, for rock music, it all sounds pretty lush. When you request that plays a bit of music for you, don't worry if you don't use Amazon's very own music streaming service. There's support for Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, all the usual big boys. And of course the main method of controlling the Echo Studio is your voice, so thankfully those far-field mics, which are positioned around the entire circumference of the Echo Studio 2022, are very, very good at picking up your voice even in a really loud, noisy, nasty environment. And most impressively, even when the Echo Studio itself is blasting out metal music full pelt on top volume, just say at a decent volume from the other side of the room and those mics will still somehow pick you up. So certainly as far as those mics go, I would say the quality is right up there with the likes of the Google Nest speakers as well. No issues whatsoever. So that right there in a lovely little nutshell is the fresh new Amazon Echo Studio 2022. It works really well as a standalone smart speaker if you want a bit more oomph compared with the rest of the Echo range. Otherwise, as I say, you can hook it up to your telly. If you've got a Fire TV stick or a Fire TV Cube, you can get your Echo Studio hooked up to them and get yourself a proper Alexa-powered home theatre setup. So it'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a really wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you.